Namaskar and welcome to this exciting episode of Sattology, debunking mythology. Sattology means science of truth, a study of truth. Opposite of that is mythology, which is science or study of fake, lie, or imagination. Most of the Western authors, if you read their books, they never give credit to whom they learned their knowledge from. They all pretend that they just received it or they found it on their own. And I'm going to reveal some very famous names in American social media. And one of them was banned by the Canadian authorities for some reasons. And you may get the hint now. And I will tell you about the teachers and whose teachings they are actually following by claiming to be theirs. The science of mind and meditation is the domain of yoga, and all the mind related, stress related issues have resolved through yoga. And that is the origin of the science of mind, intelligence, false ego, and Atma or Paramatma. So today we are covering a topic which actually the Ramayan actually helps you to control the mind. Because the topics of Sri Ram and his activities on earth actually help you to attain a higher purpose of life. I have a very special guest and you have seen him many times. So let us welcome Sri Rajesh Kumar Singh. Welcome, Rajesh ji.
Namaste Aditya ji, and namaste to everybody again. It's pleasure to interact with all of you, and I'll be sharing my PPT.
While you're sharing, I have one question. So you have read Ramcharitmanas also, Tulsidas, and now you are presenting some historical evidences. There's some historical evidences are there in Ramcharitmanas also, but in Valmiki Ramayana, you are coming up with these amazing points, which many people must have read. So, what is the difference you find? First of all, they are not comparable. Also, they're two different moods altogether.
Yeah, that's very true. See, Valmiki Ramayana is the original document which we have, the oldest one, and Valmiki lived during that time when Rama was acting. I mean, when he was doing his Leela. After all, Bhagwan Vishnu came in the form of incarnation and to present a high standard of how a human shall behave. So later on, I mean, not only Ramcharitmanas, of course, being in North India, I have better understood that because I can understand that language, Awadhi. But there has been many retelling of the Rama stories, and all of them were derived from or based on Valmiki Ramayana. So I have been telling this that to understand the perspectives of all these letter retelling, one shall read Valmiki Ramayana also. Because what happens, we read only these, say, Ramcharitmanas or Kamban Ramayana or other Ramayanas which have been written in different parts of the country, in Nepalis also. So we start reinterpreting the retold story and not learning the original one. So that is the fundamental difference. But all of them have been told only to present the character of Ram, Sita, and other people who existed at that time, what kind of ideal society we shall have. Who is good, who is not, and why one is good, why one is not, and what happens when somebody doesn't behave in the way which is prescribed in our Sanatan or traditional value system. So, how one destroys, and as you told in the very beginning, these stories are the tale of the Rama, why it's popular wherever it is. I mean, not only in India, but different parts of the country. Because the characteristics which is there, it's for goodness of everybody. It may be difficult, but that is the only way one will excel. I mean, a society will excel in all forms.
So please continue, please.
Yeah, so I will start from where I had left during my last presentation. And just to remind all the listeners that we are discussing the tale of Sri Rama and Sita and all others at present while they were staying in Panchvati, and the discussion is broadly based on Valmiki Ramayana, the original text about Ram. And of course, it's written in Sanskrit. And while we discuss it, we go through many slokas of different chapters. Here we'll be discussing the Sarga 49 of the chapter 49 of the Kiskindha Khan. And slowly we'll see that not only Valmiki has told the story as a historian, but he's a poet also. And the influence it has in different art form in the country in different period. So I have already been talking or telling that Panchavati is located in the state of Maharashtra now, in the district Nasik, on the banks of the river Godavari, which is still there. So it's a historical retelling only. And what you see in figure 1 here, that Sita is in her cottage, and there is a mendicant in front of her in a very simple form, which it shall be, how it has been described in Valmiki Ramayana. And this picture has been taken from a 17th century Chitra Ramayana. As the name itself describes, the tales have been presented in picture form, and it is now available in Saraswati Mahal Library in Tanjore, a very culturally vibrant and traditionally important place where you have Brihadeshwara temple. So I discussed in the last talk that Ravana in the form of a mendicant praises beauty of the Sita and tries to lure her, describing about himself, about his city, Lanka, and how he will keep her as the main wife or the main queen, the Mahisi, amongst many other queens. But Sita rebukes her naturally, as the character is, and she compares Ram and Ravana, and she describes how he does not compare even a bit when seen in the high characters, not only in the strength, but the values which he has. And all this makes Ravana very angry. Certainly, Ravana is not in control of himself. He is trying to influence upon Sita by one way or other. And Valmiki described that Sitayam Vachanam Sutva Dasagriva Pratapvan. When Valmiki hears these rebukes of Sita, he becomes very angry, and haste hastam samarhite means he strikes one hand on the other hand, becoming very furious. And then she tells her, somehow she wants to influence Sita because she is not in control. He's not a Jitendriya like Ram. He's not having control on his senses. So he is saying, Udveham bhujabhyam tu medinim ambare. Medinim means earth and ambare means sky. So he is saying, telling Sita that you don't understand who you are. You are unmattaya, no unmattaya sruto mane mama veer parakramo. You are not understanding who I am. I am so mighty. I am so much of strength that utveham bhujabhyam to medinim ambare. If I stand in sky, I can hold with both of my hands the earth in my hand. Apibeyam samudram. And I can drink the whole water of oceans. Chahanyam mrityum rane sthita. And I can kill even the god of death. So I am that powerful. And he describes further that why you are interested in Ram when I can shatter the whole of Mahitalam, I can shatter the whole of earth. Kama Rupinam Uchmate Pasimam Kama Dampatim. I can give you whatever you desire. Pati means husband, so you shall look towards me. And while telling this, he becomes very angry. Evam Uktahavatah Tasya, while telling this, Suryakalpe Sikhi Prabhe, Valmiki describes his characteristics. Kruddhasya Hariparyante Rakte Netre Babhuvatu. He becomes very kruddha, angry, and his eyes, netra, becomes reddish in anger. Now, what happens when Sita is calm? She is not listening to him. She is rather telling him his real position as compared to Ram. He gets excited and tells that I can do this, I can do that. Then, now he does not remain in control, not only in voice, but in the form also. So, till now, he was in the form of a mendicant, but now Sadyah Somyam Paritajya. Immediately, he leaves his decent form. Somyam means decent form. Paritajya means he leaves Bhikshurupa. So you can see this arrow one points out his mendicant form, but he leaves now that form and becomes the original Ravana. Swam Rupam Kala Rukal Rupabham Bheje Vaishravanujam. Kala Rupabham means like a death god, which is very frightening. So he now assumes his original form and leaves the form of Bhikshurup, that is mendicant, and present himself. And you can see that this picture is very popular and has been taken from one of the local arrangements which is seen in Rajasthan, where local populace will be told about the various stories as taken from Bhagavata, incarnations of Vishnu, Sri Krishna, etc. So this is one figure where this aspect can be seen. Now he remains very angry. Sanraktanayana Srimana Tapt Kanchana Bhushana. Sanraktanayana means his eyes are still very ready, and he Krodhat Jimut Prabha, he is very angry, and Sri Ratnam Preksh Matlim. So now he reveals his original form and becomes very angry, tries to influence Sita, and see Sri Ratnam Preksh means to see Mathilim. She sees Sita with very, very desirous eyes. And he still continues to tell Sita that she shall marry her. She shall choose Ravana as her husband. So what she says, Vasana Bharano Petam, Mathilim Ramano Abravit. Ravana speaks to Mathilim because he is full of desire. He is not in his control. He says, Trishu Lokesu, Shlok number 14.11, Trishu Lokesu Bhikhyatam Yadi Bhartaram Ikchasi, Mam Asray Vararohe, Tava Aham Sadrisha Pati, Mam Bhajasva, Chiray Tvam Aham Slaghya Priyatava. Trishu Lokesi means in the three worlds. In Indian tradition, the whole creation is said to be comprising of three worlds: nether world, earth, and heaven. So in all the three worlds, Trishu Lokesu, if you want a husband who is popular, he is the most popular, Bhikhyatam Yadi Bhartaram Ikchasi. Ikchasi means if you are desiring an husband who is Bhikhyatam means famous in the three world, Mam Asra, you come to me. Vararohe means, oh beautiful lady. Tav aham sadishapate. I am that kind of husband which you shall look for. The most prominent,
Yeah, I think his internet connection dropped. So some of you may be thinking why he's not there, but his internet connection has dropped, it looks like. He's joining back. Yes, I think you joined back now.
There was some disruption.
Yes.
So he continues, Naiv chaham kvachit bhadre karise tav vipriyam. Now he is also trying to influence. He is not very harsh now. He is telling, I will not do any harm to you. Bhadre means, oh fair lady. Karise tav vipriyam. I will not do any harm to you. Tyajyatam manuse bhavo mai bhava praniyatam. You leave that human. He is a demon king. So he says that you leave that human, means Rama, and you start loving me now. And that he continues. Rajya Chutam Siddhartham Ramam Parimitayusham Kai Gunai Anurukta se Mudhe Pandit Manini. He is telling that Ram is a weak person. He left Yah Istriya Bachnad Rajyam Bihai Susruhit Janam. He left his house because of a word given to a lady. So see the mentality of the Ravan. For Ram, Kaikeyi was the mother, and any word which he has given, he would stand by it. But for Ravana, it's not important. It doesn't value that thing. And he puts it in a very lowly position and citing that why you are caring for Ram, who left his kingdom on following the words of a woman. Iti tva mathilim vakyam priyaryam priyavadinim. So now Ravana tells that forget Ram. Ram is not worth marrying. I'm the most popular person in the whole of the three world. You start loving me and be comfortable with me. And telling this, she takes hold of Sita. Bamain Sitam Padmakchim Murthaje Sukarena Sa Urvo Asti Dakshine Iva Parijagraha Panina. Panina means hand, Parijagraha means to pick. And she abducts Sita and holds him. And this panel is believed to be representing this form. It is presently in the Prayagraj in Allahabad Museum. And it's a terracotta art. In Indian tradition, you will see that terracotta has been a medium in which you still find that art and sculpture and other materials are being formed. And you see it in Kosambi. This is a very ancient art form in terracotta. Some have survived because there has been a lot of destruction in the North India, human vandalism and some targeted destruction also. So this panel has survived, and it is seen there, and it is believed that it represents the story of the abduction of Sita by the Ravana. Now, when he indulged in this act, Ravana, when he tries to abduct Sita and tries to keep her in his chariot, it has an adverse effect, which is bound to be. It disturbs the whole balance of the ecosystem there. Tam drishtva mrityu sankasam tikshadastam mahabhujaya. When everybody saw this event happening, mrityu sankasam means like death. Ravana was very frightening at that time. Tikshadastam. Pradravan Giris Sankasam Bhayarta Banadevta. All the deities who were there in the nearby area, in the forest, they all become very frightened. And in Indian system, I have been emphasizing it again and again that there has been a harmonious existence of people when they live in forests from time immemorial. And the same depiction you see here also, and I'll describe as have been detailed by Valmiki. So we believe that in all the forms of forest, there are gods and goddesses who protect the creatures there. So when they see this ghastly act of Ravana, they become very frightened. And while Ravana takes Sita, खरयुक्त खरस्वन प्रदर्शित हेमांगो Ravanasya Maharatha. Ravanasya Maharatha means his great chariot descends there, and he then transports Sita and put her in his chariot. Ankena adaya vadihim ratham aropya tada. So you can see here in this picture as is being seen that this chariot is being driven by a charioteer. Ravana is sitting here, 10-headed Ravana, and Sita is besides her. Now, certainly, for Sita, it was a very sudden act. She would not have believed that in that serene place, somebody who would come in the form of a simple, knowledgeable mendicant will turn to such a ferocious form and will abduct her for no reason. Because till now there was a logical transfer of arguments. So there was no question of putting force. But Ravana, who was claiming himself to be so brave that he is the most famous person in the three worlds, has to resort to force when Sita is not agreeing to go with her. So now the condition of Sita is, of course, very pitiable. Sagrihita beach cross Ramanene sasvini Rameti Sita dukharta Ramam durgatam. So Sita is very sad and she is now crying, "Oh Ram, Rameti Sita." She calls Ram, but Ram has gone, Ramam duram gatam bane. But Ram has gone far and Lakshman is also not there. But Sita is calling them. And meanwhile, Rakshasendrana Hiyamana Bihasa. Hiyamana means abducted. Ravana abducts her and starts moving down his chariot. Now, naturally, Sita is crying, she screams, and in the process, she remembers Ram and Lakshmana. Ha Lakshmana Mahabao Guru Chitta Prasadaka Riyamana Najani se Rakshasha Mama Marshana. O Lakshmana, O mighty Lakshmana Mahabao Guru Chitta Prasadaka. You Guru means larger one. Here Guru means Rama. You have been always pleasing the heart of your brother. Hiyamanam Najani se. I am being abducted and you are not aware of that. Such a sad thing. Then she talks to, of course, while grieving and crying, she said, Jivitam sukham artham sha dharma heto paritajana. O Ram, Raghava, O Ram, you left everything. And with you, I also came, leaving all the sukham and artham, all the luxury of the life, parityajana, for dharma hetu, for righteous conduct only, that you wanted to stood by the word which you have given to your father. You left that. However, you are not able to see this bad conduct of Ravana, who is abducting me. Hiyamanam adharmena. He is not taking me in a rightful way. He has used force and he is not following the right conduct. Alas, O Ram, you are not able to see it. Now again she screams and tells, she cries and is talking to Rama. Nanu nama binita nam binita si parantapa katham evam vidham papam na tvam sasi hi ravanam. O Ram, you always punish those who do wrong things. So katham evam vidham, how is it that this path, this bad deed of Ram, na tvam sasi hi ravana, you're not able to punish. He's telling, you are so uh, dedicated to protect the righteous people. However, alas, O Lakshman, you are not able to see me when I'm being abducted. And then she tells Rama, O Ram, you are not able to see this bad conduct of the Ravana when I am being abducted by it, and you're not able to punish him. And then she goes on telling that it's not good, and it appears that Sakama tu Kaikeyi sah bandave yat dharm kamasya dharm patni suna. I am your legal wife. Dharm has a greater meaning, but of course, for understanding somebody who has married rightfully. So I am being abducted, and maybe this would make now Kaikeyi and the others who plotted the whole thing to get you deported to exile to forest, they may become happy. And while Ravana is carrying Sita, now Sita talks to all the creatures who were there in forest and tell them that when Ram comes, please immediately tell him that Ravana is kidnapping Sita. Amantraye janasthane karnikaran supuspitan. So whether they are, this is a type of flower, supuspitan means a flower type, karnikaran is the name. Chipram ramaya sansadvam sitam harati ramana. Chipram means immediately, ramaya means tell Rama, sansadvam means tell, sitam harati ravana, that Ravana is abducting Sita. And then she tells the same thing to Malavantam Sikharnanam Bande Prashravanam Girim. Malavant is a big mountain there. She bows down in front of the mountain. Bande means to go down. And again, she repeats the same request. And similarly, she Hansakaran Vakirnam Vande Godavarim Nadi. And the Godavarim Nadi, which is flowing nearby, where Sita used to go every day for her ablution and to carry water. She worships her, and similarly, you see, she requests all of them that when Ram comes back, whenever, so you immediately tell them that Sita has been abducted by Ravana. And she pleads to all the creatures, deities there, Daivatani chayani asmin vane vividha padapi. Namaskaromi ham. Tebhya bhartu sansatam mamrita. Mamrita means I have been kidnapped. Ritam means kidnapped. So you tell my bhartu, means my husband. Sansata means tell. O all the gods, Daivitani chayani asmin banyu. Whosoever gods and goddesses were there in Vividpadape, in different plants, she bows down, she do pranam, she offers her feelings to them and says that whenever Ram comes, please tell them. Yani kani chit api atra satvani nivasantitu. And yani kani means whosoever is in life form here, Satvani Nivasanti, those who are in live form here, they live here, Sarvani Saranam Yami Mrig Pakshi Gananapi, whether they are animals, Mrig Pakshi means birds, Ganani means the group. I am coming to your Sarana, means I take refuge to you. Hriyamanam Priyam. Hriyamanam means one who has been abducted. Priyam Bhartuhu Pranebhyo api Garyasim. Garyasim means deer. So Ramas means my husband's, Priya means beloved wife, who is more loving even as compared to his life. Vivsha Aprita Sita Ramaneniti Sansata. So she is talking to all the creatures there. Now you see, this is a very important thing to understand for all the Western people, academic people, those who have not studied the ancient culture, ancient text, and they talk Kalidas being Shakespeare, not knowing that Shakespeare came sometimes in medieval period, and Kalidas created his Abhigyan Sakuntalam, Raghuvansam, Meghadutam, long back. And many thousand years or 100 years prior to Kalidas, Valmiki wrote Ramayana. And what is the relation between human and other creatures? It was not of destruction, it was of coexistence. And Sita has not lived there for many decades. She was in Panchvati for a few months. However, the kind of relations she has developed, the beliefs she has, whether in Godavari, whether in Malavant, whether in Karnikaran leaves, or other creatures, it shows the kind of value system we give for coexistence with the nature and all the creatures. And this comes directly from the Valmiki, who is telling the tale of an ideal society at that time, how the conduct shall be. And this we shall not forget. I mean, it's Valmiki Ramayana is not only about certain aspects or storytelling or questioning. Those who question many aspects of Valmiki Ramayana, they will just pick one episode or one slok. They shall read the whole text to understand what kind of ecosystem existed that time or have been visualized. Even those who don't believe that it's a fact. But what has been written, you see, Sita believes herself being protected by all the creatures who have stayed there in Panchvati, while earlier she was taking care of them. She will water the plants, she will go to Godavari every day. And the same thing, I mean, just for example, has been recreated by Kalidas in Abhigyan Sakuntalam, which influenced the Western media. But unfortunately, the academic people would not learn or not read the Valmiki Ramayana and other books. There are many other epics. I mean, Ramayana and Mahabharata, of course, are one of the greatest, but they have influenced many other creations, which many of us are not aware, not to talk of the Western media. Now, while Sita is traveling and is pleading to all the creatures nearby her, she saw Jatayu. Viditva mam Mahabahu Amutrapi Mahabala आनेस्यति पराक्रम्य वैवश्यत हितामपि सातदा करुणावाचो बिलपंति सुदुखिता. Bilapanti means weeping, sudukita means says sad. See tada vacho dadarsh ayat lochana vanaspati gatam gritham. She sees a vulture, of course Jatayu, she knows Jatayu, who is vanaspati gatam. He is sleeping. Jatayu was sleeping, taking rest. So she sees Jatayu. And सातमुदीक्ष्य सुश्रोणी रावणस्य वशं गता समाक्रंद्य उद्भय परा दुखोपहत्या गिरा. गिरा means speech, Bani. Dukhopahatya means she is sad. So she now talks to Jatayu and say, Jatayu pasya mam adya hiyamanam anathavat anena rakshasena indrena karunam papa karma. O Jatayu, pasya, see, mam adya. Adya means today. Mam means me. Hriyamana means I have been abducted. Anathavat. Anathavat means who doesn't belong to anybody. There is nobody to take care of me. And this Ravana, Rakshasendrena means the greatest of the demons, Ravana, through his pap karmana, bad deeds, is taking me, abducting me. Naisvaritam sakya tava kruro nisachara. She also tells that you may not be able to kill him. However, Ramaya tu yathatatvam jatayo haranam lakshmanayata sarvam akhyatavyam asesata. Asesata means without leaving anything, you tell complete story. Akhyatavyam means you shall tell them. Ramaya and Lakshmana, when they come back, you tell them the whole story. So this episode very beautifully tells that how Sita had a bonding with the nature there. And this is a very important aspect of Indian tradition, which now people would not understand, but they will create rift between using terms like Banvasi, Adivasi, not understanding that for time immemorial, there was no confusion amongst Indians. There was no discrimination how one can live with all other creatures. Thank you very much.
No, very truly you said. Sita Devi is a daughter of a Bhumi also. And she shows that how it's in harmony. She's observing very, very small, small things all over the place. And the one question usually comes in the minds of the mostly mythologists or people who are misguided is that that the India was divided. Like, for example, very clearly the language, the entire Valmiki Ramayana was sung in front of Sri Ram in Sanskrit language. And the Wikipedia or other sources, they say, and I love Tamil language also, it's a European propaganda that Tamil is the oldest language. See, the European nation states concept is evolved around languages. And by saying that this language is the oldest over the other language, which is actually not important because even the birds speak, every animal speaks, so language is not a very important barometer. Culture is a very important barometer where we see the food eating habits, the way we see how civilized people are and how the society is arranged. That is a more important thing. So they usually try to create divide between different communities based on small political things so that they can derive mileage out of it. But
because they have done so.
Yeah,
because they have done so
in Europe. That's what they done in Europe.
In Europe and in America also, the original people, so they had that mindset. They feel that original people were somebody else, and then others came and they conquered them. It's not here. I mean, there is no description like that. Whether in Mahabharata or Ramayana, you don't find that somebody came to some land and got them removed from there. It has not happened.
See, one of the things is like if you look at the European culture is about one upmanship. Like I
Yes.
can, if I'm a student of somebody later on, I will become better than him. We see that Socrates, Greek philosophers, Socrates, then Plato and Aristotle, each one tried to prove they're better than Socrates. And Socrates tried to prove that he's better than his guru. And somehow that culture has also come in that you just cross over guru, you're more knowledgeable now. And many today, the American social media experts are there, many of them. They all never quote the original source of knowledge, never quote. And our culture is based on quoting a previous acharya or previous guru. We never transcend them, we never overcome them. So a big European disease like is also come into our Hindu community also, which follows Vedas. So one question to you is, in this episode, now when Ravan is abducting Sita, you read out everything what she says. And so in your opinion, so what was the Ravan's behavior? What was Ravan's behavior when she is quoting all these things?
Ravan's behavior means, I mean,
How did Ravan react?
see, Ravan is in his own mindset. I mean, that Balmiki will describe because that will come later.
Later,
He, Ravana, though he is arguing, he did not waited the argued to be counter argued.
he was in a hurry. He
But
was in a
he
hurry.
didn't have any argument.
Yeah, he
He
doesn't. He's
didn't
in a hurry
have
also.
any positive argument. Sita told that what you are doing, while for a lady, word, Rama has left everything. And you are trying to forcibly influence upon somebody else's wife. So, so he, though he boasts all those things that he is very mighty, but he's not.
He's not.
If you have to forcibly use, if you are a mighty person, you will fight with somebody.
Right.
You will not come like a cheat, which he does.
Yeah. And also Ravan is also in a hurry because he wants to run away. He is thinking Ram will come back anytime. And
Very much, very much. See, the moment Lakshmana leaves, he immediately comes from the backside.
correct,
He was waiting there.
correct.
He has plotted everything. He knows that when if Ram comes, or even Lakshman would have stayed, he didn't dare to do that. No? So he is not a mighty person. He's not a brave person. He's not
Not
a
a brave.
charactered person.
No. And
And in next episode, when Jatayu, I mean, Jatayu will tell that what is good conduct and what is not.
thank you so much, Rajesh ji, and thank you all the viewers for watching it. Do like, share, subscribe. These are the real topics of discussion because we are oftentimes get carried away with news. Any news in the world you can summarize in 5 minutes or 6 minutes, but these are the topics to think about. Manan Chintan, very important. Everyone talks about meditation nowadays. This is the topic of meditation, and these shlokas are the topic of meditation because you need to, in each and every shloka written by Valmiki Ramayana is a shloka of meditation. Meditation on plants, meditation on birds nearby. And when you connect with Sri Ram, it becomes yoga. So it is a scientific process. Yoga means you connect with Sri Ram, connect with Vishnu. And that is like Patanjali says, Ishwar Pranidhan. This is Ishwar Pranidhan when we are meditating on these small incidents. So Valmiki Ramayana and Mahabharata give you many, many points of meditation. This is meditation, not like meditation, close your eyes and breathe deeply. Yes, you should do that. That is also good for people who want to just nadi, they want to correct their nadi and their posture. And asana is important. But if you want to really put your mind, then this is the topic of mind, where you meditate on Sri Ram, simple incidents like this. And believe me, when we talk about the great sages, when they're meditating, this is what they're meditating on. They're meditating on simple interactions of Sri Ram with somebody else, interactions of Krishna with somebody else, interactions of Valmiki Muni with his own disciple and others. Because when you meditate on these great personalities, then you actually do meditation. The yoga doesn't start before you start
See,
thinking about
Aditya ji, what I will add here, see,
yes.
when Valmiki to Sita say that Yani Kani Bhutani, whosoever lives here, I request them to take me in refuge and tell Rama. So she has this faith in coexistence, and
Yes.
this is yoga.
Okay.
She is, I mean, one has to get into in coexistence with the ecosystem, the whole environment. Then you will protect it. Sita is desiring her protection in turn.
And her father, Maharaj Janak, was very well versed in Shastras, very well versed. So Sita was also highly educated, very highly educated throughout her childhood. And many great rishis have visited and she has served them. And so she had all the knowledge of Vedas also. So she could see things as they are also, isn't it? That's true.
Very true. And see what you said that in the court of the Janaka, the seekers of knowledge would come debate at, the issues of coexistence and existence. And Sita very rightly not only answered the questions of Ravana, she also asked the all what desired from Ravana. And she counters also. She was a very knowledgeable, as you can see in her conversation with the Ravana. And Ravana could not answer anything.
And for the viewers, I'll also share you my secret, one secret. I pick up one shloka and whole day I meditate on it. Whole day. Like since morning I've been doing one shloka on Monam Atma Vinigraha. Very, very beautiful. Tapa Manasa Uchite, Bhagavad Gita 17th chapter. So the thing is, when you start focusing on yourself, then you attain a lot more things for others also. Because the charity begins at home. Charity is a Christian word. But what I actually want to convey, if you want to do good to others, focus on yourself. Because that way, if you are happy, if you are firm, then you can do much greater good to others than you try to just go externally, try to good to others. So thank you, Rajesh ji, for coming on the show, and thank you all the viewers for watching.
Thank you and namaste.